Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we are going to welcome and have great interview with Katharyn. How are you, Katharyn?
Hi, thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Katharyn, for coming to our show. Tell us about yourself, Katharyn.
Yeah, so I started my career as a registered nurse, and I know you are in the medical field as well.
Yes.
But really, my desire for healing and helping started way beyond my nursing school career. I knew I wanted to help people. I wanted to be a nurse from a very young age. My mom was a nurse as well, so I kind of idolized that and looked up to her.
Mhm.
And working at the bedside, I really developed pretty bad anxiety and depression and compassion fatigue, burnout, all of these things. And that was because I realized that the kind of healing that Western medicine was doing, that I was witnessing and partaking in, really wasn't fulfilling me in a very nourishing way. I feel more like I was easing symptoms of a much deeper dysfunction rather than actually healing my patients, because they would just leave and not have the tools and the whether it's diet or emotional support or spiritual support, they would keep coming back. We'd heal an infection, or we'd heal an exacerbation of something, and then they'd be right back. So it was really unfulfilling for me. And I, like I said, developed really bad anxiety. I actually used to have to take Xanax and Ambien just to go to bed. Yeah, I actually went to a sleep doctor because I thought there was something wrong with, I thought I had some kind of fatigue syndrome or like narcolepsy or something. But that's a whole nother story. So yeah, just to go to bed, I had to take those like serious drugs. And fast forward a few years into my nursing career, I'm travel nursing, and I land a position in Los Angeles. And I actually got fired from the hospital here, which had never happened to me before. I had only ever been welcomed and loved by all of the hospitals I had ever been to. But me and this hospital just did not jive. So it's 11 p.m. I'm laying in my bed, of course, having anxiety per usual. For some reason, I hadn't taken my medicine that night, and my phone rings next to my bed. It's like 11 o'clock. I never answer my phone that late. I picked it up, and it was my recruiter calling me to tell me that my contract had been canceled, which is a polite way to say that you've been fired. So I, immediately am feeling like embarrassment, and I'm defensive, and I'm feeling like weird guilt and shame and like all these, not great feeling emotions. And she's going down the list of the reasons that they said in their email why they were letting me go. And it was just the most bizarre experience of my whole life. And I actually started laughing, laying there on the phone with my recruiter telling me that I'd just been fired. I'm laughing. And that moment was essentially like a me surrendering, like throwing my hands up and saying like, okay, I don't know what is going on here, but I know something bigger is happening. This is divine orchestration. And I ran into my roommate's room, who I'd only known for like 3 or 4 weeks at the time. And I jumped on her bed. I said, Lauren, I just got fired. And I'm like smiling, and she's so confused. And really that sparked a 2-year process of me healing myself. I dove headfirst into my own healing. I healed myself of anxiety and depression and insomnia and some GI issues that I was experiencing. Had a huge spiritual personal transformation. And along the way, I found coaching. And now I work as a transformative spiritual coach, and I help people heal like I was able to heal myself. And I feel like I'm really able to actually heal people and be that helper, that healer, that nourishing and nurturing presence that I was always wanting to be in nursing.
Okay, wow, what a story. And thank you for sharing, and means a lot, So life gives you lemon and you made lemonade, and heal yourself, but also now look at now you are actually a big motivation for so many others who have these
Yeah.
disorders. Okay, wow, congratulations. I'm so proud of what you have done. So also tell me a little bit about, I think it's for learning purposes. I think probably it's a lot of us have these, and we all go through. I mean, we all get fired from time to time from jobs, and so there's nothing that you or anyone can do to forecast that, or even anticipate. Things are nobody's perfect, and there will be something some people don't understand about you, right? So that's not somebody's fault, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about some of the things we talked. I think you discussed for especially medication, and you said you were seeking sleep specialist. So you had some insomnia issues. You said.
Yeah, I did. My insomnia was really very closely linked to my anxiety. I would be laying in bed and my heart would be racing,
Mhm.
and it was like the slightest thing would jolt me awake. It didn't matter if it was like a car in the distance or like my cat jumping off a table somewhere in the house. Like the slightest thing would wake me up, and I realized, well, now I know that I was just in my sympathetic nervous system the whole time. And the thought of having to go to work the next day, knowing that I wasn't going to have the help that I needed, knowing that I was going to be stressed, that I was going to be running around all day, that I probably wasn't going to eat lunch, that I probably wasn't going to use the bathroom all day. Because that is just the life of a nurse. Sorry if you are thinking of becoming a nurse or in nursing school, because that just really is the reality for working in the hospital. Unless you're working at a union hospital, then it's a little bit lighter. I have worked at hospitals like that, but in general, it's stressful. And so then you're laying in bed thinking like, crap, I'm not asleep yet. And then that's stressing you out even more. You're like, well, now I'm going to be tired on top of everything else. So it was just like this whirlwind every night that I would, every night before I would have to go on shift the next day.
So then, oh yeah, that is, but I can tell you one thing because, of course, we work together all the time with staff, and, there's a lot of stress they carry, and they do a lot of great things. And even now with COVID, a lot of patients and everything, that's, they take really a good care of patients, and there's so much unbelievable work, involved in all this. So, hats off to all the staff, for healthcare.
Amazing. I mean, all of hospital staff is amazing. Nurses have a special place in my heart.
Yeah,
I have so much respect for any kind of nurse, especially a nurse working at the bedside.
yeah, and there's a lot of, it is amazing that, they have so much patience and tolerance to, patients are, there's nothing we can do in terms of their behavior. Everything is so mean sometimes. They are really because and it's not under their control because they are also sick. We can't just
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but they will say things, really mean things, and do things, and then it really hurts a lot of nurses. uh,
Honestly, that for me, personally speaking, that was not even the part that was the most difficult in nursing because I mean, you nurses naturally have compassion. Like, we don't get into this field not having compassion and not being a natural healer and helper kind of personality type. And we know that these people are likely experiencing one of the worst days of their life when we're seeing them. For me, it was more of from like a structural point of view, like the quantity of patients and the acuity or the severity, the heaviness of the patient as far as like their illness goes, and really more of like a structural like management kind of thing is, I think I'm also speaking for a lot of nurses when I say that, because like we know what the patients are going to be sick, the patients are going to be difficult, but if we had the proper support, if we had the right staffing, the right help, then we wouldn't have to be facing that plus all of this other stress that doesn't even have to do with the direct patient experience.
And that is true. In healthcare also, we see a lot of, they assign so many patients to, one person, or there is so much stress. And I don't know why I never understood. So this is more to do with hospital or the, system, which is kind of designed to save some kind of money for them. For what?
Yeah. But unfortunately, there's such high turnover because of that. I know, I mean, and I was a travel nurse, so I was filling in around the country for these temporary needs that would pop up. And like, there's such high turnover in nursing. It's crazy because people like me who come into the profession with good intentions, and we really want to heal and we want to help, get burnt out. We get compassion fatigue. I mean, I remember the first time that I really felt my compassion wane. And that was when I was travel nursing in Chicago, and I was taking care of an elderly patient who was a post-stroke victim. They were there for sepsis. The stroke had happened previously, and they couldn't talk, they couldn't eat by themselves, they couldn't move by themselves. And I remember I just felt nothing. It was just like, yeah, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, I remember looking at the patient and just having this moment of like, why don't I feel more for this person's suffering? Why like, where is my heart right now? And that was one of the first moments where I was like, yeah, I have to make a change. At that point in my life, I had no idea what a change looked like. But that was the beginning of opening that, like, I don't like who I am right now. I don't like this person. I don't recognize this person. And I know that I have to do something.
No, that is pretty important thing, that you realize that you're not having fun. I think I met somebody and he had great saying, and he says every time he and their spouse, and they will ask this question in the morning, are we still having fun? And that so and they say you can apply that to the job.
Yeah.
Are you still having fun at work, or are you still having fun what you do?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then maybe you should think of doing something else, right?
Yeah.
So that is always important. So tell me, what are things which help you to heal?
What helped me heal? It was a lot of things. I would say the number one thing was that I had a curiosity and a willingness to explore my own inner environment, to explore different methodologies of healing, to explore different authors, different podcasts that I came across. It was just like 3 years of learning, and in a lot of ways unlearning old patterns and unlearning limited beliefs and unlearning these like glass ceilings that I had for myself as far as my own happiness and livelihood went. So sometimes that came in the form of just a situation with a friend or with someone that I met that would trigger something within me. I believe that triggers are our teachers. I didn't necessarily believe that back then. I didn't really know that back then. But in my work now, triggers are our teachers. And when we so something that I say a lot is divine curriculum, that we're all going through our own divine curriculum. And that looks different in each moment. But if we have this willingness, if we have this openness and this curiosity about life, we're able to see what our next most intelligent step is and what is trying to come forth to be healed.
So those are important. So like certain things you had to focus on, was that more spirituality? I think you probably touched a little bit on that, and also maybe sleeping better and eating better and maybe have more healthier lifestyle, right?
Yeah, definitely a combination of the external and the internal. I believe that in healing, like it's all one, right? Like we can't separate our internal environment from our external environment. If I'm going to a job that causes me to be physically ill in ways of not being able to sleep, being anxious, being depressed, dreading work, like that's a pretty clear sign that that's not what you're made to be doing. So yeah, I work both inside and out to put kind of like a tangible, I don't know, parentheses like on the areas that I actually work on the most. I made a 4-month course. I made an online course. It's called Creating Peace, because I realized going through this journey by myself that like I'm single, I'm not married, I have no kids. And so I went to home health once I left the bedside. I never went back to the hospital again. And so home health is a very flexible job. So I had this like a lot of spaciousness in my life to make healing my priority. Healing was like my full-time job. So I realized pretty early on that not everyone has the ability to make this a priority, to make themselves the most important thing in their life for an extended period of time, for like 2 or 3 years. So I put everything that I learned into an online course called Creating Peace. It's a 4-month course, and this is how I work with clients now. I work with them in a combination of self-study with the course and deep dive one-on-one healing with me. The first module is the most important, and it is the mind. It is disidentifying from the mind, disidentifying from the ego, understanding like what is the ego, understanding that we don't have to own or identify or buy into every thought, that we are the awareness behind thought, that we are beyond thought, and we have the power to choose which thoughts we buy into and which ones are false.
So these have, it's a 4 weeks course, or is it
4 months?
4 months, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sure, how long you've been doing that?
I have been coaching for about a year now. I just officially put my course online, that it is available now to purchase. And you don't have to go through it one-on-one with me, although I love going through clients and going through clients' transformation with them and really holding them in support throughout their transformation. I think that's invaluable when you have someone who's been there. But yeah, so I've been doing this for about a year. I have 2 separate certifications in coaching. There's actually a subfield of nursing. This is how I originally got into it. There's a subfield of nursing that is transformative nurse coaching, not coaching nurses, but it's a nursing certification in coaching. I'm waiting for them to upgrade the title because a lot of people get confused about what a nurse coach is. And I also expanded my mastery with the Institute of Coaching Mastery. I love this program with Alyssa Nobriga, who is my coach and mentor. She is a multi-million dollar coach. And I would recommend her program to any healer or coach who is looking to up-level their practice. She's really amazing.
Okay, great. That is such a wonderful topic, and also I think a lot of people can benefit from your experience and expertise in it. So also, I think a lot of important thing is I always say, if you are example and you went through which you did already and you successfully help yourself, so you can really relate to a lot of people and show them maybe you can do this or that, and that is very important. So for everybody is listening, this is a real thing, and then you can really learn a lot of good techniques how to deal with anxiety, stress, and also spirituality and connection of all this together. I think your course is offered through your website.
Yes, website is Katharyn Suzanne. My name is spelled a little funny. My mom had some fun with that. It's KATHARYN Suzanne.com. On Instagram, same thing, Katharyn_Suzanne. Email is KatharynSuzanne@gmail. It's all pretty much the same.
Okay, very good, very good. So, what are the plans for next 3 years, 5 years?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My business has had so much growth, even just in the last couple months, that I have no idea what the next few years are going to look like, but I am so excited with what will be in store. I believe that the physical expression of or the physical feeling of our intuition is what is light, what feels expansive. This is how I make all decisions in my life. If it feels interesting and expansive, then I go for it. And that is how when I say take your next most intelligent step, that is all I have done over these last 3 years, is just continually taking my next most intelligent step, continually moving towards what feels expansive and light. And it has exceeded my expectations beyond what I could have even believed at this point. So I have no idea what the next few years will look like, but I am excited to find out.
Well, we are also excited to learn, from you. Then, I can see that you'll probably do some amazing things, and you are kind of on the right track here. So, well, thank you. For any final message you have for my audience?
Yeah, I think if anyone resonates with where I was, with the anxiety, the depression, the burnout, insomnia, even, like, it is possible. Healing is possible. Joy, peace is possible. You can do it. Find yourself a healer and just go for it. Just start. It doesn't matter where you start, just start.
That is beautifully said. That is, people don't realize, but sometimes it looks impossible or it looks close to miracle. That you at one time you were in really with medications and all that, and look where you are right now. Well, congratulations once again, and it's a great story for everybody to learn and get your course. So everybody who's watching, check her out and check her course too. And if you know someone or if you yourself need help, make sure get some help. And always, you can always get if you have more problems or medically need help, of course, you'll see your provider. And take care, and thank you once again for coming to our show.
Thank you.